pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. Press play. Press play. Press play. Don't pause. 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 Press play. Switch it up. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't press. Don't press. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. Press play. Press play. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Play.
We collide. We collide. drawing me in, and I can't slow down. No, can you feel it too? There ain't no stopping now. Feet off the ground, head to the sky. Yeah, wind by my side. You in my vision, directly we collide. You pull me in, I don't resist. Time seems to fly, but the clock doesn't tick. I crash into you, we both feel the hit. We both feel the way that our chemicals mix, and I wish that I just keep my eyes shut. Maybe this time it'll be. Don't resist.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Imola Tier 2 today. It's me, Martin. I'm joined by, once again, Fox Johnson for this Tier 2 shootout. Known for its tricky corners and singular DRS. If it was a full race, it'd be 58 laps. One DRS zone. 19 corners, a lot of elevation here as well for the cars to go around. Expect a lot of action around Acqua Milanese. The tyre choices for today are C4, C3 and C2, so it's middle of the range for the softness of tyres, with the hard lasting being the C2 and the soft being the C4. Expect a mad shootout here today as we get ready for qualifying. And the guys are getting ready to go out already.
Yeah, it looks like it is Kiziel out on track first, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that is Kiziel.
Kiziel spearheading the trainer cars coming around. Most commonly known for being the front of the pack as well is Kiziel. Likes having that no car in front type of vibe.
Looking at the weather prediction, looks like it may rain, but
in qualifying,
I'm not sure. I can't see 100%, but looking at the overcast conditions, it looks like it may rain.
There is a lot cloudier than the Tier 1 boys had. So, as there's almost, we've got about 16 cars out on track at the moment. It's going to be very busy. Hopefully they all manage to keep out the way of each other.
Another sign that it may rain, actually, because if it rains towards the end of the qualifying session, you want to get out as early as possible and get a lap in. Very true, very true. But anyway, it's going to be Kiziel. We're going to ride on board for that first sector. He's going to be starting. He's flying rack now. Opens the DRS, and here we go. He's on lap. What can Kiziel produce? Season 3 champion in Tier 2, Patrick Kiziel. Looking to maybe step it up a notch now with his win in Bahrain. Looking to further become the 2-time champion here in Amethyst. As he now rounds corners 5 and 6. Flowing through nicely, keeps it in 5th gear, early on the throttle, coming around now to the hairpin of corner 7. Yeah, looked pretty tight through 5 and 6 there. He kept it nice and tidy, making sure to open it up into turn 6, so he could maximise the exit into that hairpin.
As now, Kiziel coming through the legendary Acqua Milanese. And this is where I'm expecting to see a couple of guys invalidate their lap time, possibly.
Seems to have done quite well, though. As you are right, Swan has invalidated his lap just behind.
Yeah, it's a very unforgiving corner, that of. But Kiziel now coming around the final few corners here. Turn 18, right on the limits there. And he'll be setting up the first lap here. And it will be a 1:16.1 for Kiziel. The next car on lap, I believe, is going to be Skowski. And Skowski goes even faster by a tenth and a bit. Then it's going to be Rasmussen. Rasmussen a little bit off the pace there. And now it's going to be almost impossible as Marco right behind Skowski. And Hooven where Hooven pulled that one out from?
That was a hell of a lap.
It was. Vlad also breaking the 116 barrier. And it was so hard to find out who's on lap. Is Kopf maybe on lap? Kopf. Maybe he's had a moment there. He's a little bit off the pace. As it's going to be Elsom next. Coming round. And Elsom goes P9. And then it will be Matthews in P9 instead. Then it's Alpine of Hugendorn. Hugendorn looking to go and puts it into P4 for Hugendorn. With Potts puts it P6 for Potts. It's a very tight field, but Hooven is spearheading by quite a bit. Very tight further back though, as I believe.
It was spun.
No, it is not Rasmussen. It is Soybean on his debut here in Amethyst. Has had a spin on the exit of 17, between 17 and 18 actually. And he spins it again.
Rasmussen has spun. He spun on the exit of that tight chicane in Sector 3.
Oh, so he has. I believe, though, the person we want to be watching possibly be Ule here. Ule's going to be getting a big tow from the car in front as well. As the car in front just peels off onto the grass. Getting out of Ule's way. Ule, second place last season, looking to right the wrongs, but it's only P12 for Ule. No, the only car on lap would be Harris, and Harris has a clear track in front of him. What can Harris do? And he invalidates in turn 3.
I was just going to say he was very, very tight into turn 1, very, very quick on entry, and just didn't look like he was going to make the corner, which he obviously didn't.
I've switched to Ule, and the game has not switched to Ule. Good game, good game. Welcome, Will, to the chat. Ule might be on a second lap here. Or not, because his rear is flashing.
I was just about to say it doesn't look like he is, but he's definitely going faster than Harris. Set a second lap because he looks like he's saving up ERS. So watch out.
Fuel for it?
I think if he saved his fuel on his out lap, then 100% he will. But it depends if he went into that lean fuel mode for his out lap.
Oh, it's 2-0 to Arsenal.
Oh.
Sorry. I've missed the football game today for this race, and Ule is peeling into the pit, so it'll be Soybean. We'll see if Harris looks to go for another lap. No, Harris is in the pits. So Soybean will be the first car on track, and then it's Marco looking to set a second lap.
I must admit, the two Ferraris have been very, very quick, especially in Bahrain. Obviously, it was a 2-3 for them, I believe. It was a fantastic performance, with Hooven obviously leading the two. But either way, it's an excellent effort from both of them.
And they're looking to show that they're here not just for Bahrain, but for every race. Hello, Wesley. Hello. How are we doing today? Well, we're excited for Imola. We know the history of Imola Tier 2. Someone is probably going into the wall on the pit straight. Chappers was the victim last time.
Let's hope Monk isn't involved again.
Monk a little bit off the pace here. Only P8.
I was just about to say as Soybean starts his lap.
Yes, Soybean starting his lap now. As everyone else coming out onto the track, hopefully able to keep out of his way.
It's like he's going to get hindered by that Alpha, but he seems to be alright. Eating that inside curb.
He's pushing hard. As we're going to switch to the onboard now as he comes through turn 5 and 6. Ooh, a little bit of a snap there for Soybean though. According to the game now, that's purple sector 1, so the track, the sunshine seems to be
that is Elsom who's spun.
Elsom has spun, but we're going to keep on board here with Soybean. His Soybean will be looking to set his first lap here. as the Haas keeps out of his way, coming down through Aqua Milorano. On the foot there, nice and clean, out on the exit, and then it's going to be Vante Alta here, turns 14 and 15. You want to ride that first curb and swing it through nicely for the second part. Final few corners. Rivatsa 1 and then Rivatsa 2. Rivatsa, there's no T in that. And Soybean sets a new fastest lap there for Soybean. Soybean putting his money where the mouth is. And is absolutely rapid there. The next car on lap is... it's very hard to work out now who is on lap.
That's Skalski, I believe.
Skalski currently P4 with Soybean smashing the fastest lap out the park there.
We saw him very quick in Bahrain, so maybe he can replicate that here in Imola. Obviously, two very, very different tracks, and it can greatly affect. But that is the fastest sector 1 for Skalski. He's absolutely flying up to the top of the hill now, and he's going to be wanting to get that turn in perfect for this fast left-hander, and he does do that very, very well.
Now, the tricky Aqua Milorano. Will he be able to keep it composed, keep it between the lines, and he's right on the limits there for Skalski.
Look pretty clean though. That's the fastest sector 2 as well. He's 2 and a bit tenths up on his time, it says.
I think the game may be lying about purple sectors.
Validated.
Oh!
Validated.
That's not good for Skalski because he was absolutely flying. I think the next car on lap might be that of the McLaren or Swan just behind him, and it is, unless it's Harris. And it is Harris actually on lap. Got a Haas pushing him along. On the exit here, Harris gonna give the Haas a big toe as well. Harris P18. Not a good lap for Harris.
Not at all.
And then Swan goes P3 with that time, so the track definitely coming alive. As next up is going to be Ule. Ule looking to improve, or is starting his lap, possibly starting his lap actually.
P6.
McWilliams does improve for P6. Rasmussen P4. Rasmussen climbing up the ladder now, up into P4. So next will be Matthews, who is up on his time. Matthews goes P14 though. And now it'll be Hooven looking to improve. He has got time here, but it isn't enough to overtake Soybean.
And that is Ule, who has spun out at turn 6.
Ule spinning out at turn 6 would have been pushing hard. Did he just do what I think he did?
No, he did not.
Oh.
He did. I hope you're thinking about resetting to track.
I did think he just reset when I switched to him.
He quickly spun his car around.
Ah.
He did not to track.
Well played, well played. I'm just trying to find out who could possibly on lap right now, as Rosu is now P5. Potts has put it back up into P6. Improving a little bit. Monk might be on a lap. No, Monk is in the pits after invalidating his lap.
It is.
Who's on a lap?
I'll storm into the pits, and Williams may be on a lap. No, he's not.
No, he's not. My bet maybe Van Loon is on an out lap.
Possibly. Yeah, it looks at.
I think Van Loon will be the next guy to watch.
Oh no, that is Ule starting a lap as well.
Ule
Just
starting another lap. So Ule managing to save enough fuel and ERS to go for another one. Are them tyres going to be feeling a bit of the wear though? As it is mightily close. The whole grid, other than Harris, there's 2 seconds maybe between 1st and 18th, but it's a second from 1st to 14th. Very fine margins for these guys. As here we have Ule and then Van Loon in the background, both driving up this hill now. Coming up through to Piratiala.
Van Loon takes that a bit wider than Ule.
Ule is the guy who we have our eyes on here, as he swings now through Equiminerale and into Variolta.
That's Van Loon, he has been validated.
Van Loon has it validated, so expect to see Van Loon popping into the pits. But Ule here, with only 4 corners left to go. It'll be Reveza, first Reveza, and then it'll be through to Reveza 2. And it's now a drive to the line. Ule looking to improve on his time. And he does so, puts it up into P7, just in front of his teammate. And everyone else shooting into the pits by the looks of it. Other than there's an AlphaTauri on track. Soybean starting a lap. Soybean looking to improve here on his debut here for Amethyst.
Kept that nice and tidy through the first and second corners. Kept it quite tight, but he runs it wide in turn 6. That was not good for his lap.
No, down 3 tenths. Yeah, we have a spun Alpha. I believe that might be Skowski spinning actually on his outlap. But Bean maybe thinking about pulling out here.
It didn't look like he was going very quickly, if I'm honest, through the hairpin on the run up to the hill. I think he may be looking to just save his ERS and go for another lap.
Or would he be just popping into the pits? There may be enough time for one more lap here.
Maybe. And Skowski's looking to start a lap. And Marco is actually out the pits. He's on his outlap. He's ready to fire up the track.
Yes, Soybean does go in, so we're going to switch to Skowski here. Currently P8. We needing to find a bit of time though, because he is down by quite a bit. 7 tenths actually. But I would like to point that out, from 5th to 12th, there is fine margins for these drivers.
Just about to say, and it looks like Skowski's taken that very nicely. Hasn't run too wide, he hasn't gone in too quickly, but he's kept it nice and tidy, which is always the safer option. Same through 5 and 6. Still look mightily fast, and that is a purple sector 1 apparently.
It is definitely not. He was 6,000 faster.
Yeah, that's why I said apparently.
I missed the overlay. But Ule now coming through the double left-hander, fast pace, and it's into Aquamillerano. This is all about how late can you be on the brakes and get that car turned around. And he's up 2 tenths now though, so he's definitely found a bit of pace through sector 2. He's looking like he's going to be breaking that 1:16 margin. Where can Skowski put it? Final few corners, Fox. Where do you reckon Skowski's going to go?
I'm thinking around P4, P5-ish area. I don't think he'll be able to manage much more than that. But that's P3. He found a lot of pace in that final sector.
He did indeed. And now the next car to watch is... We've only got a minute 30, so that will be Skowski's last lap.
I think it is Marco the next on a lap.
Marco currently riding P11. Got a lot of cars in front of him, doing a little bit of weaving. Is he going to swing it around? The Alpha Man moves out of his way nicely. Will the Alpine do that? Oh, and he's invalidated.
Oh.
Marco's going to have to somehow draw battery back for another shot here, but it's going to be very tight for Marco, as the whole track is on a lap out now.
Yep.
Hoovenese is about to be starting one. I think is that Harris. Harris currently 8 tenths up after going through sector 2. We'll be looking not to invalidate. Currently running 19th out of the 19 drivers racing today. As there's an Aston Martin spun in sector 1, Fox Junction. Can you report on that?
I'm just having a look now. That is Alsom. I don't think he hit the wall. I can't see any damage, but he's making sure to keep out of the way of the rest of the cars coming through.
Alex Harris only good enough for P18. And next is going to be, I believe it might be, it's Monk. Monk goes is currently P14, is starting his lap. Potso is on lap. Alsom is still not having a good time of it there. No damage on his car, but yeah, not really doing much as Vlad doesn't improve. P6 for Vlad. Rasmussen now jumps up to P4. Swan, though, next car to come across. Will Swan be able to reclaim that P4? And Swan goes ahead of Skowski as well for P3. And now it's going to be Kizel currently leading on points. Goes for P6. Up into P6. Then Hugendorn. Only P10 for Hugendorn. McWilliams gets P11. It's going to be Matthews is next to car. Matthews P16. Now it's going to be Ule. Ule currently running in P9. He has found some time though. Ule up into P7. Then it's going to be Marco Mangano. Marco up into P8. Now, Silver. Silver's the next car and he comes into the pits instead. So it'll be Monk.
Potts.
No, Potts. Potts only P8.
Alsom spun, so it's Monk next.
It will be Monk. Going to be getting a bit of a tow here from Elsom. Monk doesn't improve though. And then it will be Van Loon, I believe. Van Loon into the pits. So that is the qualifying done. It is Soybean on his debut here in Amethyst, taking P1. Hooven's P2. Will Swan, Tier 3 champion last season, up into P3 around Imola.
Fantastic effort from the top 5, really. They were all very, very close on pace, but obviously Soybean just sticking his head up above the parapet, and it's clear to show that he's not here just for qualifying. He's here to win this.
Are Alfa Romeo going to regret their releasing of Soybean here?
Possibly, but I think he was originally a reserve driver, if I'm not mistaken.
He was, but they're letting the reserve go and now being big competition for them. Very interesting to see. I'm just going to get the screenshots quickly.
Look at that between P3 and P4. That is 7 thousandths of a second between Swan and Skowski. That was very, very good effort from both drivers there.
Very, very close indeed for a lot of them, really.
I must admit, disappointing. It's very disappointing qualifying from Sanjay.
Sanjay is not here anymore. It's Harris.
Oh, is it Harris now?
It is Harris. Harris has made a return.
No longer Mr. Pinala.
And
yeah,
it's a very good point there from Chappers. Monk has gone from P2 to P14 around Imola. Last time he was here, Monk was P2. Although we are hearing he has turned his ABS off, so possibly struggling with the adaptation to the lack of the assist.
It's probably a good point, and obviously fields can become more competitive, and sometimes you can just have off days. So it's not unusual, really. You see it with a lot of drivers, but I think either way, that is a big loss from a track that he was good at last season to obviously this season.
For sure. But here we go. We're about to get underway.
That is an excellent start from Swan, just sneaking past Soybean there into turn 1. With Hooven is still leading, and Rasmussen getting past Kizel, who's gone off the track, and he's made contact. And that is also Williams, who was spun out the first chicane, which was not the most of ideal starts for him. And that is Yamate, the Red Bull, who's spun round. With Harris also in the wall. This is going well for a lot of drivers. Been a change in positions for quite a few people, with Potts sneaking up to P6 and Swan sneaking up to P2, with Soybean dropping all the way down to P3, which was not ideal for him. as Hooveners now leads across the line of the first lap. Luke, I'm not sure if you're in that soybean going.
Soybean looking to make a move on Will Swan here for P2. Sorry about that. I had an unexpected visitor in my room.
Right.
Let's have a look at the tyres quickly, because this could be very important.
I was just about to say Potts dropping off the back of Skalski, but nonetheless still sneaking up to P6 from, I believe it was P8 that he started, with Marco not far behind him.
So, Hooveners and Bean are both on the medium tyres. Bean got an awful start.
I was just about to say, but he managed to get back past Swan pretty quickly.
It's going to be very important for the three medium runners to get ahead of Swan here. Swan setting the pace for the hard runners. Skalski in P5 also holding on to the back of Rasmussen. As I'd missed the action right at the start. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There was my dad passed his CBT, so he wanted to tell me. Yeah, but Hooveners has a monster lead at the moment, almost.
Indeed.
And Swan has lost DRS on Bean as well, so Swan will be at the mercy of the F1 gods.
I was just about to say Kiziel being the biggest losing driver here, dropping down 10 positions from P6 to P16. I believe he had an incident at turn 1 and he just went off the track.
He didn't look like he got a good start either, though.
He didn't, but look at Monk already up into P9, as well as Matthews up into P11. Excellent start from them both.
And Harrison left the session.
I'm not sure why.
I don't know why either. McWilliams down in P19, possibly had wing damage, I would assume, from the lap 1 incident. As Soybean has caught up to the back of Hooveners, he's within DRS. As we currently ride with Monk here. Monk looking at the rear of Vlad, the current champion. The field, though, has definitely got a lot more competitive now. As we're going to switch to, I believe, Swan is going to be the guy in danger with a very fast Rasmussen behind him on them medium tyres.
Yeah, I mean, Swan, his best bet at the moment is just to, I would probably say he has two choices. Either defend hard from Rasmussen and Skalski behind, who are eager to get past, or he can let them pass and try and stick to the back of them with DRS.
The medium tyres with that DRS, though, definitely showing why the mediums currently are the faster tyre on the track. Swan will probably want to hold on to the back of Rasmussen as they come through now turns 2 and 3. Swooping through Rasmussen up into P3, past Swan before turn 2.
Kiziel's looking to get past Van Loon, who I think is possibly defending from Kiziel to make sure that Melvin can stay ahead.
Battles going on all around the track, because currently Silva under pressure from Hugendorn. As well, the Alpines currently running P14, P15, but Hugendorn looking dangerous behind Silva there.
You'll have to forgive me, I'm not too, I don't have all the nicknames on, so I'll have to try and remember each driver.
You're all good, but Skalski is hunting down the back of Swan. Swan will be trying to hold on to the back of Rasmussen here. I think he will be just within, but meanwhile for the lead, Soybean is within DRS and has been gaining. Soybean gets a big moment though on the exit there of turn 18. Somehow held it together and is absolutely flying still. Rasmussen, fastest man on the track though.
Gonna go for a move down into turn 1 round the outside of Hooveners, but Hooveners defends that quite well, and Soybean just has to take to the sausage curbs there, bouncing over those yellow, quite harsh curbs.
Meanwhile, Kiziel has dispatched of Van Loon and will be hunting down his teammate now in Hugendorn, but Hugendorn all over the rear of that McLaren. Hugendorn looking to make a move on Silva there. He thought about it for a second, pulled out last moment. Really applying the pressure here.
And he just makes contact with Vlad, and Ule sneaks past both of them going up the hill, and that is Monk and Vlad both losing out there.
And Monk is all over the rear here of Vlad as we come through Aquamillarale. The three of them are tight side by side. Vlad looking to maybe make a move here on Ule into turn 11. Instead, it's a very dangerous place to try and make a move from Monk. And Monk will lose a position to Matthews. So Matthews now up into 10th.
Matthews is in prime position here because both Ule and Vlad have less ERS than him. So if he can drain that battery and use DRS to his advantage,
Vlad's already flashing.
Yeah, he can sneak past Vlad here, down into turn 1.
He might be looking to make the move on Vlad here. Side by side into turn 1. They go. Matthews running very deep though. And now Matthews will be at danger of Monk. And I believe Monk has got back past. And now it's going to be Elson maybe looking to make a move on Matthews into turn 5. But pulls out and thinks better of it. Very tight stuff. But back for the lead though we go. Because Bean is all over the rear of Hooveneers. And Rasmussen is slowly gaining on the pair. Tier 4 champion Rasmussen definitely feeling himself around here today.
And it looks like Kiziel further behind is looking ready to... Oh!
Who's that run wide?
That is
it looks
Monk.
like it's Alfred Monk has not had the best of it, and he's lost his whole front wing.
Oh, that's...
It's going to be costly.
I would probably switch back to the lead though as Soybean. Good exit out of that final corner using that DRS and ERS. He looks like he's about to sneak past Hooveneers here, and he gets past.
He's got him. He's got him through turn 1, not even needing 2 and 3. So Soybean takes the race lead here today, and now will be looking to pull away from Hooveneers. Further down, Kiziel now has got past Hugendorn before turn 2. No! Yes, before turn 2. And next on his radar will be Silver. Currently, Kiziel is your current leader in the points after the first race in Bahrain. But now it's all to play for, as Monk is into the pits to replace that wing. Drunky Monkey has made his triumphant return. Bean has already pulled a second on Hooveneers.
He has indeed, and Skalski is all over the back of Swan, eager to get past. Swan is just dropping down the order, but he has managed to keep within a second of Rasmussen there. He's just going to hold on to his DRS and hope for the best when defending against Skalski, who they are both, of course, on the same tyres, but it looks like Skalski is using his ERS a bit more than Swan, which is allowing him to close up the gap.
Slightly further back there as well, you see Evan Potts currently just driving a race of his own. No one really around him. Same for Mangano. But we're going to follow here is Skalski maybe gets a bit of a better drive as Harris picks up the first 3-second penalty of the race. Skalski thinks about a move for a second but then doesn't commit to it. This isn't very good for Rasmussen though. On the mediums, the 2 hard runners here keeping up with him. But the front 5 definitely pulling away from the rest of the pack right now.
I'm just about saying Kiziel is on an absolute charge, getting past the 2 Alpines and the McLaren very, very quickly.
Oh!
Actually,
McWilliams has done a moment! And that's a full safety car!
Oh dear, we'll have to see what's happened there. I think he's just had a bit of a spin coming out of that tight chicane. He's just gone into the wall, but I can't.
Will the leaders catch up in time? This is not a good time for them, because if they pit now, the hards, will they last? I think they could.
McWilliams. Yeah, he just spun into the wall. That's a very odd place to spin into the wall, because that's not a place where you can really spin your wheels.
Yeah, I don't know if this is good for the medium runners. It's very early. The mediums can go that 15, 16 without an issue. But I reckon we're going to see the mediums possibly dive into the pit. So Bean is coming into the pit. Hooveneers follows suit. Will Rasmussen also pit? And Rasmussen, all 3 medium runners into the pits.
One is your new race leader with Skalski just behind and Evan Potts staying out as well. And that is Marco.
Who's on the mediums?
Alsom is on the mediums and he comes into the pits.
Who else? There's all sorts of strategies coming. Swan's gone deep. Swan almost losing his position there to Skalski, going into the back of that safety car. So
Monk is the only other one on mediums. So this may be a good opportunity for him to pit back onto the hards if he has another set of fresh hards. But that would obviously depend on the strategy he chose before loading the game.
I don't think he will have another set, so... Kizil has chosen to pit here for mediums?
And Monk is into the pits.
Monk into the pits as well.
Kizil is on the hards.
So Kizil started on mediums, possibly. Let's have a look at the tyres. So the top 8 all chose not to pit.
And Monk is on the inters.
Ah, so he's going to pit again after.
I see.
I can't see any rain.
I cannot either. I have no idea what is on the inters.
I don't know why either.
Unless he made a strategy error where he thought that he had hards.
Ule stopped for mediums. Ule, Elsom and Matthews all stopped for fresh mediums, so maybe they're going medium soft now.
Either that or there is rain on the way.
Possibly. It is
Don't know.
getting a little bit more dark in the sky.
It is indeed. That would explain why Monk is on the inters, but I don't even see any rain.
I don't. Yeah, the cloud coverage has definitely come into play a little bit more the past few laps.
I'm just gonna watch Monk for you because I'm not sure if he wants to pit onto other tyres.
If he doesn't pit now, he's taking a very big risk here because his tyres will overheat as things stand.
I was just about to say, and if there is rain on the way, then I think this plays really well into the hard runners' strategies.
Anyone who didn't pit,
Monk stays out.
Monk stays out on the intermediates.
He stays out on the inters.
I want what Monk's been drinking.
A lot of alcohol. Apparently, he is drunky Monk.
Swan's warm up reminds Will of Hammerdeer.
Yeah. But yeah, he's staying out. That is a strange strategy.
There's a lot of cloud. There is a lot of cloud now. But there is no rain.
Unless he knows something that we don't, which is probably true because we don't have a lot going on in our heads. But unless he knows something about the weather, about when it's coming, then who knows? But I would have said that's a very, very risky strategy because he's going to lose a lot of time to the cars ahead and safety car in this lap.
Oh,
so
this is not good for him.
His intermediates are going to be very hot actually. So if I was him, I would not be warming up those front tyres. It's a bold strategy, but see if it pays off, if there is any rain, that is. I'm just watching. Oh, Soybean nearly runs into the back of Van Loon there. That was.
And Swan is going to
get. I may be wrong, but I think Hugendorn maybe hit the back of Stover there, but I don't think so.
I don't know, but we are on the way, and Swan has gone. He's legged it. And Monk has got past Kizil on the intermediates.
And Rasmussen is past Hoovenitz. Hoovenitz sends it round the outside of Rasmussen, and they all look a bit squirrely. I think their tyres may be a bit cold, but that is Hoovenitz.
Hoovenitz up the inside of Van Loon, round turn 5, and is ahead through turn 6, hunting down Bean here. And Rasmussen passed Van Loon as well up the inside of turn 7. What an absolute send. As Monk is up 2 places right now on them intermediates.
Unless our game is glitching out and he's not actually on the inters.
Surely.
But it looks like he is.
Yeah, he is, because his rear light is flashing and he's a lot off the pace. Because Harris is about to make a move back on him. But up the inside of turn. What a move! Monk has been. What? Where did that come from? Monk on them intermediates, definitely paying the price now. He's going to be dropping off the back of the field as we go back to Ule now and Rasmussen. This is a battle we haven't seen for a while. 2 seasons ago. And Bean now on the fresh hard. Gets past Hugendorn for P7. He's looking to win on his
debut, and that is Hooven following closely behind Soybean. He seems to get those. He seems to have gotten those hards fired up straight away, and he's making some moves to try and stick with Bean as well, following him through every move he makes.
As Hugendorn on the threat currently from Hooveners has got past Hugendorn. Ule now past Hugendorn. It'll be Rasmussen next to try and make the move past. Ule's medium's definitely feeling good though compared to the fresh hards around him.
Yeah,
and the used hards. But
it's your on the outside into Aqua Minerale on, but that's not gonna. 2 cars don't gonna go into 1, so it's not gonna work really.
Kizu being held up quite a bit here. I'd like to point out Potts has dropped off the back of Swan and Skowski.
I can see. I think he's in a bit of a no man's land in terms of pace, and that is Yamate and Alsom side by side.
Alsom call him?
That's his in-game name, Yamate.
Kopf.
Right, I know Kopf. Right.
I didn't feel comfortable you calling him that. Harris is into the pits.
And there are raindrops. There are raindrops. So Monk may have pulled off an absolute masterclass here, because he's going to be leading the field by about 16 seconds. He's going to be leading the field by about 16 seconds by the time everyone's pitted.
And that is a
yellow flag for
Skowski. Skowski's had a moment.
And his teammate Ule looking round the outside of him, and he's got past. But
Skowski
the rain is coming down heavier.
Skowski's just no traction as he falls all the way down to 10th. Rasmussen goes past Skowski now. As Hooveners gets a 5-second for ignoring yellows. That's maybe something that we'll get over. Oh, he's going to have to pit though. He will have to serve it. Harris also into the pits. We slated Drunky Monkey.
That is Alsom spun round, and that is also Kopf spun round.
And Van Loon. They're struggling in the rain. Meanwhile, Monk on the intermediates is flying. Everyone is sliding around. Monk.
Drunky Monkey is a genius.
Drunky Monkey wasn't drunk.
Who knew that alcohol could make you smart?
Oh, and everyone's having moments around him.
Oh, he's charging through the field. The rain just came down so heavy.
Monk will be your race leader. The race.
That is. I've never seen anything like that before. That is.
And they're going to be double stacking, and people are going to be losing so much time.
Drunky Monkey. Maybe he's not drunk. Maybe he's, in fact, a genius.
And Harris here. How many people is Harris going to get ahead of because of this? Swan will come out ahead of him still. So Swan maintains P2. Potts now P3 after Skowski had a moment. Mangano P4, but Harris up into P5 by pitting 1 lap earlier than the rest. And Kiziel really was the big loser there. He was behind Monk and stayed out for another lap. But so many people got wing damage there. But Monk has almost an 18-second lead here now.
Absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like that. That was...
If he needs to make the call to go to full wet, he has such a safety buffer to Swan in second. Meanwhile, Swan has quite a nice buffer to Potts in third, and Mangano's fourth, and Harris running a little bit wide there, up into fifth. But somehow, Monk has made that work.
Down in P14.
P14 is the double stack. It's the double stack. So many people had the double stack because of the safety car. Monk has played an absolute blinder. It's a 1-3 for Williams as things stand. And the wing damage as well. Elsom got a 10 seconds for corner cutting. As Hooveners now gets past Kiziel. That's a brave place to make that move. The words couldn't even come out of my mouth as absolute carnage has been set up on us. But Monk with a massive lead to Swan. Swan, who is still pulling away from Potts. And then it's Marco Mangano just keeping in touch, but Harris is right on him, and Mangano runs a bit deep there. Harris may be able to get a better drive out here and make him pay for that. Harris all over his rear with Bean. Don't rule Bean out. Bean is just behind this lot, and we know that he has got pace here.
As long as Drunky Monkey doesn't become Drunky, then
I can't see how he could, a safety car. A safety car could come out and ruin this. As they're going side by side through turn 10. That's brave moves from the pairing of them. Harris does get through though.
On this.
Soybean will be wanting to get through, and the rain is still absolutely coming down. Can we expect to see full wets here possibly?
I'm not sure. I don't think we'll see full wets until we have standing water on the track, which there doesn't appear to be any at the moment. So if the rain does come down heavier and does carry on like this,
the cars are struggling to clear a line there. As you see, the line dissipates a lot quicker than normal under inter conditions, even though they're all right behind each other.
I was just going to point that out. I think the rain is starting to come down a bit heavier, but even then, Monk's at no risk of anything because he can pretty much pit now when he'd be fine.
Yeah. But it does have to get to full wets for him to really need to pit, I would assume, as Van Loon is down in P18 currently, last of the runners. But now the field seems to have strung out a little bit.
And Harris is right on the rear of
Potts
there.
Potts not been enjoying Imola.
He has not. Maybe that is why Harris was slower in the dry. Maybe he was running a wet setup.
That is a
when
possibility.
Everyone else was
Harris,
running a dry setup.
Harris is so aggressive through this. He does have a 3-second penalty, but he's carrying so much more pace than the guys around. He's already dropped Marco off by about 1.5 seconds. And he's really applying the pressure here onto Potts.
Speaking of Marco, he's under pressure from Soybean now, who's going to be looking to make a move maybe on the next straight or into the final 2 turns.
As we're going to ride on board here with Bean, coming around the final few corners now on the curbs, and we watch him as he gets that 3-second penalty.
Watch out for Harris though, he's all over the back of Potts. This is the fight for P3, a podium position.
Very true.
Of course Harris has that 3-second penalty, but he's just backed off the ERS as he makes a send into turn 1.
Oh, and Soybean and Mangano are side by side. And he's getting through, and Rosu follows through as well. As thank you very much there for the follow. But that was very close by all of them. And now Soybean Malco has dropped down 2 places. Houveniers, who was looking mightily fast, currently running outside of the points. Kizu as well. Some of the guys really struggling here with the wet conditions. And now I think Harris is the guy to watch, all over the back of Potts still, hounding him away. Oh, gets a bit of a snap there though on the curb of turn 10. Oh.
If you watch his inputs and his telemetry, you can see that he's managing to get that throttle down at the perfect point.
Oh, he gets a big drive out here.
But he's backing off. He wants that slipstream down the next straight because he knows that's where he can gain the most. His Potts is just parking his car in the middle of the track excellently to defend, and he makes an unusual send into the final corner as he gets oversteer.
They do touch.
But he's gonna use a bit of ERS now to blast past Potts. Potts does have more ERS, but he's looking to the outside. He switched to the inside, but realised there was no gap, and then to the outside, realised there was no gap.
Well, he makes a turn 1.
Turn 1, and they make contact. Bunches of contact.
Bean is going to look to go through both of them.
And Bean side by side with Potts as Potts gives him that squeeze. I think he's defending for Monk, who isn't really at risk from anyone. But Harris
making a little bit of gaining time, and
Harris round the outside once again.
7.
Yeah, once again given the squeeze, he's on that curve where he doesn't want to be, but he's past Bean.
They're not fully yet. Oh, they're still side by side.
Harris round the outside, they almost make contact. Harris off the track, this is so exciting to see.
And Bean goes back through, not through Aquamilla, are they? Oh! Oh, this is very dangerous stuff. Harris now looking very racy.
On the outside, and they both go off the track as Rosu is 3 wide down into the final turn.
Rosu thinks better, but now Marco looking to make a move back.
Oh my god! And Soybean round the outside, Harris just stays ahead.
And contact at Rosu and Soybean make contact.
Soybean stays alive, but Vlad has dropped down the order with Rasmussen sneaking past along with Ule. Ule looking to get past Marco now with ERS down into turn 1. There's too much happening.
It was way too close.
ERS round the outside for Ule down turn.
Oh,
Marco later on the brakes, and Rasmussen looking to capitalise on these two battle, and that is Harris getting overtaken by Soybean.
I didn't quite see what happened there to Harris, but Soybean made that move from nowhere. And Harris is struggling now. Does Harris have damage?
I think I can't see any, but he gives Ule the squeeze as Rasmussen sneaks on the inside of Ule there.
And Vlad's looking to make a move up on Rasmussen, and no one loses a position instead.
Vlad is so close, and Rasmussen has damage. He went into the back of Ule as Matthews now sneaks past. He almost makes contact with Rasmussen, but he's looking to get past as Rasmussen also gets a 3-second penalty. As Harris now looking to get past Marco as well. Only a tenth behind, they almost make contact into the tight chicane in Sector 3. What is going on?
It's incredibly tight.
Hooven is in Skalski side by side down the hill into the penultimate turn. Here they go. It's still side by side, and
Skalski has the inside for this double left-hander though.
Still side by side.
Surely Rasmussen. Yes, Rasmussen into the pits. And
Harris
has got
Harris. Oh my god! What is going on?
Right, there's action everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's someone making a move on someone.
The field seems to be split up a bit now. But that was thrilling. And Ule looking to make a move on Matthews into turn 5. Matthews just breaks a little bit later, gets ahead. Either that or Ule backed out a little bit.
His fish helmet will be liking this rain though.
It will indeed. And they all seem to be struggling in these wet conditions. But Harris's car coming alive in these wet conditions.
He's close back up to the back of Bean.
And he's just dropped off in turn 9, is that? Turn 10?
Aquamilla, are they?
Yep.
Maybe breaking a bit earlier. But
Bean only a second behind Potts now. Meanwhile, Potts has lost 11 seconds to...
Watch Harris absolutely cut that corner and picks up another 3-second penalty.
May I also add, look at the gap between Swan and Monk now. That's just dropped down. That's gone from 18 seconds to 12 seconds in the matter of about 5 laps.
Swan is gaining big time, but meanwhile Bean is charging up onto the back of Potts here.
Vlad is deploying his ERS to get past Marco. He's in the slipstream down towards turn 1, only 2 tenths behind.
Has cut another corner.
He may make a send round the outside, but no, Marco parks the car beautifully.
And actually, Hugendorn, who is all over the back of Ule, currently an Alpha sandwich.
He is indeed. And Rasmussen closing in on the back of Van Loon as well. Through the final turn, we may be able to see some action there.
Rasmussen will be hoping for a safety car, surely. Monk will not be with the way that Swan has clawed back up into him. And Rasmussen has made the move.
Yeah.
Rasmussen ahead now will be charging down Kopf. Or as you called it.
All over the back. That's his in-game name, alright? Leave me alone.
Someone's going to click you saying that.
Yeah. It's going to be you, isn't it?
No, it's not going to be me. But meanwhile, Skalski has Hooveniers all over his rear as well, though.
And Soybean basically sniffing the arse of Potts there.
Of all the things to say. Of all the things to say. But yes, Potts is under grave danger here. He's got a fast approaching Bean and Harris behind it. Oh, Harris gets a big snap. How did he save that?
But it's going to be Potts trying to defend, deploying his ERS. Soybean has a little bit more, but I think he's running higher wings around this track. And that's Rasmussen. Up the inside, he nearly murders Alsom. And just...
Skowski's got Hugendorn. Skowski has got Hugendorn, meanwhile, into turn 2. So Skowski up into the points again. And Matthews has a penalty. Matthews has a penalty. We're going to switch now to the battle of P15. Because they're...
Alsom, side by side, Alsom. And that is Rasmussen who goes through.
And look, Van Loon's lining it up as well!
Oh my god! He's deploying ERS, he's using that to get past Alsom. Alsom dropping down the order with Kopf all over the back of Rasmussen, who managed to sneak past at the start of the straight!
And Van Loon goes through as well! Van Loon up into 16!
Approaching Rasmussen into turn 5, they go side by side! Rasmussen leaves the space! Harris and Soybean! What is going on?
Soybean got another 3 seconds, and Van Loon is through past Rasmussen!
What is going on?
And then Kopf almost looking to make a move on Rasmussen as well! The battle for P15, this is just for honour!
They're not fighting for points, but they're fighting like they're fighting for the win on the... What is going on?
And
Kopf all over the back of him!
Soybean now looking to charge back up.
They're late past Matthews! Into just before the first turn! They're still practically side by side! And Matthews just backs out, thinks better of it, but nearly runs into the back of Ule. That was very, very close as Soybean all over the back of Mr. Potts there.
They both have 6 seconds worth of penalties though. This is critical for them. They need to get past Potts and get past Potts quick. Meanwhile, Swan has got that almost gap down to almost under 10 seconds.
Skowski nearly hit the back of Matthews there. And great recovery from both Mercedes, actually. And Soybean only a 10.5 behind Potts. And Harris only a 10.5 behind Soybean.
But Rosu's starting to catch up. Potts is definitely holding everyone up. As Rosu and Mangano are starting to appear in the distance. Will Potts be able to hold them off again?
Side of Skowski into that tight chicane. He just goes a little bit wide, but they're still side by side running down the hill into the penultimate turn. This is barely a car's width left on the exit. But that's Hooven is forced off the track as Hugendorn sneaks up the inside, but Hooven is just going to get a bit more of traction out of the final corner with
Harris has spun! Harris has spun!
Harris, he needs to change his name back to Spinala.
As he's slipping down the order. It looked like contact between Bean and Harris. Maybe there was room not given. Was he entitled to? It's hard to tell from the angle we got, but he's dropped all the way down into P8 now. And the rain, is the rain easing off?
I can't see it easing off whatsoever, but as we say, that Soybean is right still just behind Potts, and I think Potts is using his ERS to his advantage, and that is Kopf almost up the inside of turn 1. Very exciting stuff.
Harris is right on the rear of Ule though. Harris looking to recharge back through. Harris has been ordered to let Matthews pass. But Harris is making a send up the inside of the chicane, and Harris is back through. Running a bit deep. That both him and Ule run very different.
Oh, what is going on?
Absolute chaos. Absolute chaos.
Is through.
And but Bean is all over the rear of Potts. The gap is closer than normal.
He's deploying that ERS. Potts is not using any ERS. Bean all over the back. He's going to be... Oh!
A little bit of contact.
His ass. He's touching his ass. He's bumping through turn 1. This is too much to handle.
It's so close.
And it is Alpha versus Mercedes as Skowski almost spins Almost spins, almost does a Harris. But speaking of Harris, he's pulled a second to Ule with Matthews in an alpha sandwich now.
Harris has been lethal through that turn 14-15 chicane.
Think about the rain has stopped, and that is Silver on the mediums. Coming out the pits now, just behind Rasmussen and Kopp.
The mediums, it's very early to be making this move.
I was just about to say.
Maybe he's doing it to help his teammate out.
Possibly, but I can't see how he's going to help him out getting a massive penalty, as Bean is all over the back.
Oh!
And Hoovenese
has made a move up on Skowski, just going into that chicane, and Hoovenese is up into that final points paying position as things stand.
About to get past Potts. He's going to get better traction out the final corner. None of them go into the pits. But as Bean deploying ERS, he's basically pushing past now, but he's not quite there. Into turn 1, is he going to go for the outside? He goes to squeeze from Potts, he goes for the switchback. Potts forces him wide, but he has nowhere to go. He just has to be forced to back out.
Rosu's been clawing his way and is back up into this now. As meanwhile, Hoovenese will be looking to make a move on Matthews for P9 now.
That's Skowski on the softs in the pits.
Skowski's into the pits.
It's drying out so quickly, and it looks like Bean is just handling that a bit better than Potts, because he's all over the back of him.
Is Monk going to pit is the question. Is Swan going to pit? Surely Monk and Swan are in no position to pit here, as Elson's been lapped. Silver is, I don't think Silver's quite got the pace on the mediums, and there's a yellow flag, and it looks like it's for Skowski. Skowski spun on them softs.
And he just gets out of the way for Kopp as Rasmussen also into the pits. He repaired his front wing. He must have had damage.
And Potts now has a monster train behind him. Skowski, though, has spun. He's dropped all the way down into 15th. Silver being overtaken by Elsom. Both of them are lapped down.
He's struggling a bit too much. It's not the right time.
And Matthews picked up another 3 second.
He does indeed, as Bean is... He's just sitting behind Potts at the moment as
Bean has 6 seconds of penalties. Oh, Harris has got past Marco Mangano into turn 1, but Harris has got a big penalty that he has got to gap. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties right now. As you see the battle for P3 just in front, and Harris one's very wide, and that will allow Marco Mangano back past. Mangano gets back past Harris. Harris has been not been keen to follow them track limits today.
He has not. Both Mercedes with significant time penalties. But hopefully they can try and pull a gap.
Oh, there's a yellow flag!
Not sure who that's for. Was it yellow flag? That is...
Rasmussen is running very slowly there.
Oh! And Swan has been held up by Alsom.
Oh no.
That will probably be a penalty for Alsom because that was a blatant block there. I don't think it was intended, but it was definitely a block as Soybean is all over the back of Potts.
And Rosu's right there though. And Soybean's coming into the pits. 4
Rosu's
laps to go.
Out. And Harris is all over the back of Marco now. Round the outside.
And the lap car of Rasmussen moves out of the way. And that's also... There's so many people into the pits. Ule into the pits. Hugendorn into the pits. I don't think the mediums are going to... the mediums or the softs are going to give them that much time, though, for 4 laps. And it's 20-something seconds. We're going to come and pull up the tyres quickly. Because, Hugendorn onto medium tyres. Ule and Bean onto softs.
Indeed, I think this is Monk's race to lose. So, if I was him, the track looks pretty dry, so I would be pitting this lap.
Would you though? Because if Swan doesn't pit, I don't think he catches Swan.
I think he will. The track is too dry.
Much slower than mediums. Than warm mediums. As meanwhile, Potts has got Rosu now all over his rear.
Monk stays out and Silver has passed Alsom into that penultimate corner, but the medium runners are really struggling with Swan staying out and Vlad closing that gap to
And
Potts.
the DRS is now enabled. This is awful timing for Potts.
And Potts into...
No!
Potts is not in.
He fakes it. He fakes us out.
That's DRS
For Vlad.
Road into turn 1. Is he going to go for the inside or the outside? He's going to have to go for the outside, but no. That was excellently blocked there.
As Kizzy will get into the pits.
And that's Marco and Harris going side.
Oh! There's contact between Rasmussen.
That's Rasmussen, sorry.
It's Rasmussen, the lapped car.
Oh dear. I think he was trying to unlap himself, but that has not gone well. As Hooven is in the pits and Soybean is well clear of him.
Meanwhile, so I think the front 6 haven't pitted. The front 8 haven't pitted. Is Soybean going to be really that much faster? He's already got a nice gap to Ule. But everyone just choosing to pit now. I'm so surprised.
It's a massive... I'm not sure it's too much of a risk for Monk and Swan to stay out because they have a massive gap to everyone behind. So I don't think...
if Swan pits, Monk doesn't have to pit in reaction. But if Monk pits, Swan doesn't have to pit into reaction because the gap. One of them, they both have to pit at the same time, and there's just no way to be able to predict that. As Hooven picks up a 3-second penalty.
I can't see either of them pitting, and that's Harris in the wall. He's out of the session.
That won't be a safety car.
Left. Call him
what happened to him?
Imola.
What happened to Harris?
He just got too eager on the throttle out the final corner. Into the wall he went.
As Bean has now set the fastest lap on them softs. He's absolutely flying around this track. And Matthews has crashed!
Both Mercedes out! Oh, this is shambolic!
What has happened here? Both Mercedes out.
And Vlad is all over the back of Potts. This is the closest battle, 2 tenths apart. And it is Vlad looking to get past Potts. I can't see any of the top 6 now pitting, but Vlad all over the back of him. Will we see an overtake soon?
Bean is closing like a rocket ship onto the back of Kizil though.
I can imagine he is on those softs, but don't forget, he does have that time penalty that is going to be served at the end of the race.
Very true, very true. But the battle for P3, this could either be a Williams double podium or this could be Vlad reigniting his title chances.
Vlad has no ERS, but he does have DRS. Whereas it's the other way around. Potts, he has no DRS, but he has ERS. Will we see a move into turn 1? I don't think we will.
No, he's got 2 laps.
Not close enough.
2 laps to make something happen.
Saving my ERS now and making sure that I can get past.
Marco laps Elsom. Elsom has had a race to forget.
He really has. And I think Rasmussen has as well. He's pitted for fresh softs. I think he may be going for it.
It was that wing damage he got. Definitely crippled him this race.
Indeed.
And I saw a name flag up. I thought someone else had retired or had a crash. But meanwhile, that gap for the lead is coming down slowly. Monk definitely hasn't had the pace of Swan. But
it's actually gone up. It went from 4.8 to 5.2. And Soybean is past Kizil already. That was very quick for him. But Vlad closing up still on the back of Potts. Will Potts be able to hold him off? Because he's extremely close and he is going to have DRS down this next straight. But will we see a move? That's the question.
And
it is the final, going on to the final lap now. So it is Potts' race to lose now. As Potts is going to defend with all his might into turn 1. He has no ERS. But Vlad round the outside into turn 1. Tries it round the outside, but Potts defends brilliantly still.
He'll get a better drive here, though.
Will he, though, into turn 5? Turn 5 is not really a place to make a move. Down into the turn 7 hairpin.
Where else can you make an overtake?
The only place I can think is the final 2 corners.
Soybean is looking to also put a big gap to Kisler. He's got to put he's got to find another 3 seconds though. And at the moment it's 4 seconds.
I think you should probably switch your attention to Monk, who's
Coming
rounding
to
the
final few corners. And Alfred Monk brings home Imola Tier 2 and is your race winner here today. With what we thought was a questionable strategy has really made it work. It'll be Will Swan, P2.
Will we see a move? Will it be a Williams 1-3? It looks like it's going to be. There's no other place where Vlad can make a move. It is going to be Potts crossing the line to take that other podium for Williams.
P3 for Potts, P4 for Rosu, Marco Mangano, P5. And then it will be Soybean, who's already pulled 7 seconds to Kiziel.
What
Kiziel
recovery!
was not enjoying them that intermediates at the end there. Then it will be... No! Soybean had 9 seconds worth of penalties though.
Very
Hugen
me.
is 9th. Hugenborn comes home P10. And then it's going to be Skowski, who's being chased down by Kopf and Van Loon. But Van Loon's actually a lap down, ignore me. It is just Kopf and Skowski left to go. Skowski comes home P11. And Kopf P12. And that is your race. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. But it's Alfred Monk who is your race winner today in Tier 2.
Yeah, well done to both Williams there. I think Potts did excellently to keep all those drivers behind for the entire race. And Monk with that unbelievable strategy. I've never seen anything like that. That was very, very smart. Drunky Monkey no longer deserves that title.
Not for this race anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can still see Bahrain and things like that, but...
Yeah. But today your race winner is Alfred Monk. It's a 1-3 for Williams. Swan puts it up on the podium too for P2. Kiziel, who was your race winner here in Bahrain, only gets 6th place, so dropping points to some of the guys around him.
Still think an excellent recovery from him. Great effort from him.
Very much so.
But yeah, what a win for Monk. And I must admit, Swan was unbelievable this race. I mean, to go from 18 seconds behind Monk to only 6 seconds behind in gaining nearly a second a lap, that is unbelievable. That is a fantastic achievement for him and taking his first podium in Tier 2.
Very much so. He was close to it last time, but pulls it in this time.
May I also add that Monk has gone from P14 to P1.
With a bold but brilliant strategy move there from Monk.
Exactly. A fantastic race from every single one of them there, I think. Especially for Vlad as well. He came from P10. So...
As now we're going to have to get ready for the interviews. I'm sure a couple of the guys are going to be very much looking forward to this. We're going to give it a couple more moments just for a few more drivers to maybe want to come in. Alright, well, we're going to bring up the race leader now in Monk and his teammate Mr. Potts in P3. Monk, you made a bold strategy call and it really paid off for you there.
Yeah, I heard Mark. I trusted him for some reason. He said the rain was about 5 minutes out when safety car came out. So I debated a little bit with Potts and I just said I'm last anyway. Might as well just pit. I actually overtook Harris and Kishel on the safety car restart.
We saw that.
Yeah.
And then it really paid off for you though. Swan was gaining on you towards the end. You might have been sweating it a little bit maybe.
Yeah, we were running a 21:15 wing, so I was just shitting it in the wet.
And an absolute astonishing race though from you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do you want to talk us through your race as a whole, though?
Yeah. I gained, I think, this 5 positions or something. I was at P9 by the end of lap 1. Me and Vlad had a big contact in the hairpin, so which allowed Ule to take, and then Ule and Vlad went side by side into the chicane. And then I got wing damage there. So yeah. And then I think lap 5 or so, I ran wide in the corner after the chicane. It happened. I spun, deleted my wing. Yeah, pitted on some mediums. Came out right behind McWilliams. Perfect view to just see him dart off to the right into a wall. Was hoping for safety car. It came out. And then yeah, just pitted for Inters. And yeah, tried to hold on when it was dry. Tried not to spin in the wet, and yeah, ended up being pretty good.
And Potts, yourself, we saw you defending for literally 80% of this race.
Yep, I'm absolutely knackered. That was very taxing.
Seemed to not quite have the pace of your teammate today in the race.
I mean, he made a very good strategy work.
Boss was faster than me. I just made a good strategy.
We thought we'd seen Drunky Monkey again going onto the Inters in the dry safety car.
Yeah, it was fully clear when I pitted, so that's understandable.
He just needed a little drink to loosen up a bit.
Exactly. Second 1-3 for me and Potts in dry to wet races.
And,
I think. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, watching your defending Potts, you knew exactly where to place the car at all times, and especially on that final lap, when Vlad was trying to get past you. How did you know how to defend like that into turn 1?
Well, thankfully, we're running really low wings. So I knew I had the straight line and the ERS recovery, so I was just dumping my battery the whole straight, and then I'd gain it back. Just a rinse and repeat.
That's a good strategy to have, I'd say.
And is there anything with Portimao coming up next for you guys? How are you feeling for that one?
Extremely excited.
Potts likes it. I'm kind of indifferent about him.
We'll make him like it by the end of the week.
I can tell you personally, I'm bricking it, so hopefully we can see another race like that from you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Anything else you guys would like to say before we go down to P2s in Will Swan?
Swan drove a great race.
Yeah, Swan drove a really good. Yeah, Swan's gained like a second lap in the inters because we were running very low wings, so yeah. Yeah, Swan gained like a second lap on me in the inters, and yeah, I was just faster on inter tire when the dry. I pulled out like a second and 2 or 3 laps. It was dry. But yeah, he was rapid the whole race. Honestly, he deserved the win, but I'll take it.
Thank you very much today, boys, and congratulations on your double podium finish for Williams.
Cheers, lads.
Will Swan, P2 in the very unpredictable weather of Imola. How was it for you?
I mean, I just want to say one thing first. I was also running 21-15 wings, so Monk, personally, I'd say that's a skill issue, right? But I'm joking. I love you, Monk. But wait, what did you say again? What's your question?
P2. Talk us through your race because you were very fast today.
Right. Well, quali. It went well. I got P3, I think. I think I was P3 anyways. And I knew that I had like good pace for qualifying. I didn't expect to be P3 to be honest, but even still, I probably could have gone faster because I know fine well I could have got like a good 15.4 maybe. But I did bottle the first sector, I'm pretty sure. But then in the race, obviously I was like the front runner of the hards for quite a while because you had Soybean, I think one of the Ferraris, and was it Rasmussen
Yes.
on mediums in the front three, and then so I kind of wish that it didn't rain because I think that me and Skalski, when it came to the medium stint, me and Skalski could have had like a good battle for whoever won the race, depending on Soybean and stuff's pace on the hards. But who knows? I'm still glad that I got on the podium though.
Yeah, very, very well raced by yourself. Alex, do you have any questions for Swan?
I don't think so. I can't think of any.
Are you looking forward to Portimao is the big question.
I couldn't tell you the last time I actually seriously tried to drive it, so I just couldn't tell you, Luke. I'll be honest with you, son.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, congratulations on yet another solid points called for yourself today.
Cheers, mate.
And we look forward to see you in a week's time.
See you later.
See ya. Now, would Soybean on his debut like to come up? Bean, big race from you
Hello.
today.
Yeah.
A lot,
Go on.
a lot of pace that you had there. Very unlucky with the penalties though.
Yeah. Basically, I don't know if you guys saw in qualifying on my last run, I was letting people through on their hot lap because I was obviously last to go out, and I was at that weird double right-handed thingy, and I went off the track, and it invalidated that lap and the next one, so that meant I couldn't do my last lap, which is obviously unfortunate. And then I had a pretty terrible start, but then I got back up and I knew I had the pace. And on the hards, I was pretty much as fast as I was on the medium, so I was pretty much clear at that point. I knew I could probably win, but then obviously it started raining, and then I pitted, and then I was behind quite a lot. And then a certain Mercedes didn't really know how big an F1 car is, and then decides to send it at every known corner on the track. And then, off the track a few times, got 2 of those penalties because of him, so I'm fairly sure I can get both of them removed. So, although Potts' defending was very good, like I couldn't find a way past him. So, yeah, it's very, very good job to him. And then at the end, I was like, I'm gonna finish behind Vlad and Potts anyway, so I might as well try a different strategy, maybe get the fastest lap, which I did end up getting, although I lost a place to the Ferrari. But it leads to good signs, I guess, for the rest of the season because I was pretty fast compared to everyone. So yeah, not how I wanted it to go, but I'm sure I can do better for the rest of the season, in my opinion.
Wow. Are we expecting you to be all rapid all season long then?
Yeah, hopefully. I had a pretty good chance at Imola since everyone hated it, and I was fairly good at it. But that's just how it goes sometimes.
Wow. Is there anything else you'd like to add as we're going towards Portimao next week?
Oh, I don't know about that track. I don't really mind it, but I don't think I'm very good at it. But and also when we were on the Inter stint, I thought Swan was leading the race, and then I looked at position. Turns out there's a guy like a kilometer in front of him, and I was like, how's that happen then? So whoever made that call at Williams, that was insane, to be honest. So yeah, looking forward to it, I guess.
Well, congratulations. I believe it is P7 as things stands.
Yeah.
And congratulations, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Well, that is the end of the stream today. It has been me, Martin.
And me, Mr. Fox Johnson.
And look forward to Wednesday as we come to Imola once again for the Tier 3 guys to be driving around the track. Let's see what they can do. Anyway, good night.
I see this storm come rolling in. myself? Or will I bite the dust and stay with you? You can help me breathe, but only if I let you. I wanna let you in, but easily forget you. I try to settle down and try to worry less. 'Cause when we face the eye, I hold you in my chest. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea. 'Cause I'm way too deep. 'Cause I'm way too deep. Cause I'm way too deep. Cause I'm way too deep. Now my walls come closing in. 'Cause I just lost my friend so close to me. They say find happiness and faith. What the hell is that supposed to mean to me? And everything is gray, nothing is in color. Believe me when I say I'm not like any other. I try to settle down and try to get some rest. You lay with open eyes, head against my chest. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea. 'Cause I'm way too deep. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea. 'Cause I'm way too deep. 'Cause I'm way too. All my life I've been so cold. I break the hourglass and watch time unfold. And I try to make it back in this raging sea. 'Cause I'm way too deep. 'Cause I'm way too